There is a very simple metaphor to use to negotiate better with toxic people and avoid them making their problems our problems. Let me share it with you. I meant to do this actually in the previous video and just thought about it afterwards, so I'm sharing it now. Imagine, if you will, a person who is having a shower and they claim that they want a hot shower, but they also don't want to pay for hot water. And I think this happens quite a bit with toxic people. So they'll turn on the cold water tap and complain that they're having cold water. So most people will say, well, you could, want to be helpful, you could turn on the hot water tap. And they get upset and say, you're not listening to me. I told you hot water is expensive. I don't want to pay for hot water. You go, okay, fine, I understand. So have a cold shower. But you're not listening to me. I'm telling you, I don't want a cold shower. And you go, well, then you could turn on the hot water. You're still not listening. I told you, what's wrong with you? I told you I don't want to pay for hot water. And this goes on round and round, usually until the other person gives in and says, let me pay for hot water. Why don't you have a shower at my place? Let me pay for a hotel room so you can get a hot shower, whatever it might be. In other words, let me solve your problem. Of course, there are a few elements here. First of all, the only person who's really suffering is the person underneath the shower, so they can do whatever they want. There's the counterattack that I mentioned, which is saying, like the Aikido move, which is saying, well, it's your choice to do this. I regret your choice. I regret that you're having a cold shower, but I respect your choice. But this is the technique that I want to share with you. It's asking them, what is your goal? And they'll say, I want to have a hot shower. Now, here you could either say, well, you've got two goals. You want a hot shower and you want to save money. So you have to pick one of the two. Here you run the risk of them saying, why do you want me to have this problem? As though pointing out reality is wanting them to suffer. This is one of the ways that they mess around with our minds. They assume that if we specify that reality is the way that reality is, it's that we want reality to be this way. This is something we see in cults, whatever they might be, like esoteric cults, spiritual cults, political cults, mistaking that people pointing out reality is people wanting reality to be that way. So one way to deal with this is to say, to avoid this, is to ask, what is your goal? My goal is to have a hot shower. Okay. Do you believe that your behavior, that your actions are the optimal strategy to reach your goal? Just ask them the question. Is it the optimal strategy, the best possible strategy, possible, imaginable in the world? If they say yes, which is likely because they find it difficult to admit that anything could be improved in their behavior, they don't believe that they are anything below perfect, they say, yes, it is. Like, okay, great. So how's it working out for you? In their mind, they'll say, or they'll believe something like, well, it's not working out. The problem isn't my strategy. The problem is the world. So the world should adapt to me. But we just ask, how's it working out for you? Are you getting hot water? No, I'm not. So what are you going to do about it? They go, well, maybe you can do something. Okay, maybe. But let's imagine I can't. What will you do about it? Always, whenever they try to make their problem our problem, we're not saying no. We're saying, let's imagine I can't. What are you going to do about it in that case? We could also, bring something and say, let's, I'm sorry, that doesn't work for me. How do you want me to do that? But he'll just say, let's imagine I can't do it. What would you do in that case? And then see what they say. We want to bring it back to, is your behavior the optimal strategy? If you believe it is, how's it working out? If you're not getting the result you want, then it is not the optimal strategy. And if they say, well, someone should do something, sure, maybe, but let's imagine no one does anything. Is there absolutely nothing you can do? Do you have absolutely zero agency over the situation? If so, then there is nothing you can do. So me helping you out is really not going to help anything. And if you have more than no agency, how about you use up your agency first to be able to do something and achieve something, and then we can talk about it. In this case, we trap them in a situation where either they are saying everything is perfect, so they have to stop complaining, Or I've done the right strategy, but then they should be getting the result. And if they're not getting the result, we're saying, well, there probably is more than nothing you can do. You still have some agency. It's either that or you're powerless. They won't want to be powerless. So they'll find it difficult to admit that they can improve anything, but they'll also find it difficult to admit that they are powerless. And we want to create this kind of cognitive dissonance where you go, well, judging by what you're saying, either you're powerless or you can improve something. If you can improve something, do it, and then we discuss. And if you can't improve anything, then it means that you're powerless. And it makes them lose face.